Let me go into the last one. I just told the husband back there of the last Rising Stars, I said, what alarms me about you is that when I buy a suit and you buy a suit, we pay the same price, but you get 3 times the material. Because he's kind of a big guy. By profession, he is a coach. His wife is an absolute delight. She is living proof that behind every man, every successful man, is a woman who is very surprised. There's my little slam for the male species, right? They are from, oh, watch this applause. This'll get you. The Buckeye State of Ohio. They began March 11th, 2010. I remember when they were brand new. Can I tell you this? I had 2 milkshakes on the beach at Maui, sitting there talking with this couple. They're now diamonds. Help me welcome from Ohio, Elise and Mark Mueller.
I'm going off script, honey. I've coached high school football for 21 years, and I love coaching football because you get to see kids do things they're not willing to do sometimes. You get to make changes with kids and see them do it on a Friday night, and sometimes those changes bring out emotion. And so when that means I'm fired up because I was sitting in those same seats 4 years ago, and then sometimes even a big football player, you might see him cry. So that might happen too tonight. So we got to take it back 4 years. 4 years ago, I was a fat football coach. I was overweight, 39 years old, 285 pounds. That's not going the right direction. We were fortunate that a lady named Mary Kaufman got me on a 10-day cleanse. You guys seen the story. 9 days, I was down 20 pounds. Impactful. Now, as a big guy, 285, 265, that's like throwing a lawn chair off the Titanic. It wasn't a big deal. We had some ways to go. But the way I felt was incredible. Day 10, Linda Lawson came over. We went straight to advisory, even though we didn't have the money. That's a whole other story. All right, went on to lose an additional 24 pounds that second 14 days. Dropped 4 to 6 inches off my waist. Got off a 6-day diet soda habit that was controlling me. The products work. If you guys want to talk about the products, we can go outside. We'll talk all night. They work. But our situation was even worse than that. We were winning football games, and I say it as a group. We were winning football games. We looked good on the outside. I'd go to a local shopping store, and everybody knew my name. And I thought I was doing things right. But when it came to doing those bills, sitting on that island, it just wasn't there. We had enough to pay the bills. We had enough to have a great Christmas. We had enough to have a great vacation, but then if broken dishwasher, flat tire, we were broke. We called it stuck on average. We weren't going anywhere else. Coachy wasn't taking, went to the Final Four, did all that stuff. It wasn't going to take us where we wanted to go. But we had this thing called AvocCare.
Yes, we did. Our very first mixer, I can remember Chuck and Linda Lawson coming over. We did everything wrong. We had kids running around, dogs barking. And so after that mixer, I remember calling Chuck and Linda and saying, you know what, you guys, could you just not talk about the business? Please just stay on the products. But then we got our first check. And Mark and I kind of looked at each other and we're like, you know what? Maybe we can use this extra income so that we're not fighting every time you do bills. Or if I'm out at Kohl's, and he always laughs about Kohl's, but if I'm at Kohl's, that you're not giving me that text of, red alert, don't spend. I know y'all probably had that text, right? So, You know, and then, so we went to work, as Richard would say, go to work. So we did. And we won a $4,000 rookie bonus, which was great, life-changing. But most of all, we won a trip to Hawaii, an incentive trip. So we went to that trip, and I got to spend time with one of my great friends, Mary Kaufman. But we met some of our best friends there. We really did, and Avocare, and still today. And we looked at each other after that trip, and we said, you know what? We want to be like them. And not only like them, but we want Champion family like they have. So, but my biggest obstacle was my mindset. And I would say, I can't do that, or we're never going to be on stage. And so my challenge to all of you is, if you're saying to yourself, I can't, say I can. Or if you're saying, we won't, say we will. Because it really does make a difference. Because if we can do it, you can do it.
I think our whole team says that. If we can do it, anybody can do it. And by the way, fellas, that Kohl's Cash, that stuff doesn't work. They still send us a bill. Help me here. So when we started this business, we were 2 full-time teachers. I was a head football coach. We had 3 kids going in every different direction. And so if somebody tells you they don't have enough time, they have time if it's worth it. And so we got to work. Jumped up to 3-star gold. Woohoo, kind of plateaued for a while. Jumped up to 6-star ruby. Kind of plateaued, but that 6-star ruby gave me the opportunity to be the man I wanted to be. And that was take my wife that was sitting in bed next to me on a Sunday night crying and tell her it's okay to come home. We don't need that income. We've got Avocare now. We can do that income. And then we kept on plateauing, kept on staying the same. Then we jumped up to 9-star. All right, 9-star made me have a tough decision. I had to look at 85 kids and tell them I couldn't be their coach anymore. 21 years of coaching, I had to step back from that. Something I dearly loved because I wanted more of what I loved more. That last year was my first year not coaching. Thank you.
You're cute.
Last year was my first year without coaching, but I got to coach my son in flag football. We won a championship. I got to see every single 8th grade middle school football game that I only got to see once the year before of a 7th grade season. So I was being that person, I was being that dad, and I stopped coaching kids, but now I'm coaching adults to be the dads that they need to be the moms that they need to be, to go out and help people that need what we have in here, that you have your hands on in here. And then now, hopefully, it snows a lot in Ohio, because in 4 months, I'm going to be done with teaching. And I'm going to be a full-time dad, and we're going to be home together. And so that's our journey. But the thing I want to show you about our journey, it's like a step. And the step was, the plateaus, because we weren't growing. Every time that we grew, we went up. Every time we were not growing as people, we stayed the same. And so you have to grow or go, Joe Hadachek says. Grow or go in this business. And I want to talk to a few people when I get off the stage. And those people are the ones that are sitting there writing down in their books right now that you want to be a rising star. You want to be a diamond. You want to be a ruby by August. Do not close that book after this success school and go home and not speak those words. You got to speak increase in those words. You got to speak it to your mentor, to your leadership. You got to hang it on the wall. And then when you get home, you got to go to work. This is not welfare. You got to go to work and start changing some people's lives. God bless the Regis family. God bless everybody. Thank you.
Thank you all, everybody. One more time. Ohio, Ohio, Ohio.